Good morning. It's currently almost 7 in the morning. The kids are not going to school today, but my husband is going to work, so I am up early. But a couple new of my followers, which I'm so grateful for, and I want to say thank you guys for being here and supporting me all the way, had mentioned that they wanted to start selling pens. So I wanted to show them how I make my pens. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the supplies that I use. So I wanted to show you guys the supplies that I use to make my pen. So this is a sand block. I usually use this after the first coat of epoxy, just so I can sand a little bit of the excess glitter that sometimes we have on the pens. And then I'll go ahead and do my second epoxy, but I'll talk to you guys about that in a few. So I wanted to show you guys what am I going to be using. These are my pens. And this, because you see here, you see this piece right here, which I'm going to take it out and show you. There's a piece in there that we have to take out, you know. But sometimes we always leave like a little bit of a piece on there. So I usually would melt it down with my heat gun. I'll melt it, and then usually I'll just sand it down real fast. And then it'll be perfectly fine. But you guys, everybody's going to have their own way of doing it. But I just wanted to show you guys the way I do it. You know what I mean? And this is Mod Podge. I'm going to be doing 2 coats of Mod Podge. And then I'm going to be using this to seal the glitter, you guys. This is the perfect thing to use to seal glitter. I even use these on my tumblers, and it is amazing. I got this off of Amazon. This, you can get it off of Amazon. These, you can get it off of Amazon. The cups, you can get it off. Almost everything that I have here, I got it off of Amazon, except for this. So, let me go ahead and start so I can show you guys exactly each step that I take. So this is what I was talking to you guys about. You see this part right here? We have to take this off. This has to come off because you want the pen to be completely flat. And if you do have a piece left, I'll go ahead and just sand it down with this. This is amazing. This helps me in so many ways. You guys have no idea. Okay, so if you can't seem to get the whole thing off of this, I'm going to use this to melt it. And then it should be fine for me to go ahead and sand block it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol after to make it like very, very like smooth. So let me go ahead and take this off. See, I usually do a couple things before I actually use the heat gun. See, I just flipped it off. All right, guys. So see, I just flipped it off, and you see how this little piece is still sticking on there? You see? So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can like use my scissors because it's so tiny. So it should be able to come off. See? It actually worked. Can you see the top of it? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to sand it down. And this is going to help me a lot. Let me go ahead first. First things first, which I didn't mention to you guys, always take off these pieces on the top first. Let me go ahead and remove them. This is being hard. Okay, so it's not coming off. In my hand. Okay, so I got it to come off. It was a little hard, but I got it. You see this? Before you sand it down, you want to take this off. Because if not, these sometimes get ruined, and then you may have to like use another one, or go ahead and like try to always have refills on you. Because I usually have a lot of these. Sometimes it has gotten ruined because I've forgotten to use it to actually like take it off. So I'm going to take it off right now, and then you can take this piece off, and then I'm going to take all this off. So basically you're left with like just a naked pen. There's nothing in it. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep on sanding this down because I want this to be flat. Okay. So see, you see this piece there? It's not coming off with the sand block. So I'm going to go ahead and use this heat gun to go ahead and take it off, you guys. Okay, you guys, so look how it came out. I did use the heat gun and it came out perfectly, so I'm gonna sand it down. So look, perfectly flat, you guys. You see? Now what you want to go ahead and do is use like get a paper towel and use a little bit of alcohol to wipe down all the white. You see all this right here? You want to leave it like kind of like shiny, like kind of like the way it was before. So let me go ahead and get that alcohol. See, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I usually do the whole thing. And look, you guys, look how it looks now. You see how you don't see any of the white stuff that we use with the sanding block? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put away the alcohol because I don't want to tilt it. Okay, I'm gonna get my stick because this helps me so much, you know, because usually we don't want to hold this like this because you know you're gonna put the Mod Podge and then the glitter, and then it's gonna become a little complicated. So I'm gonna use this. See, these you can get off of Amazon. Basically, you are protecting the inside of getting like anything on it, the Mod Podge or the glitter or anything. So basically, this is like just a protection for the pens. And this is obviously a stick that I'm going to be putting on my tumbler, my pen thing, my pen turner, I want to say. And so it's going to be so much easier, especially when you have to put the glitter and it's still like not dried yet. So it's going to be very helpful. This stick is very helpful. I also got it off of Amazon. Okay. So right now I'm going to go in with Mod Podge first. And basically, see, I'm just coating it. This is the first coat. If you are going to be using 2 different colors of glitter, like say an ombre, or you just want to do two different types of glitters, I would recommend getting 2 cups of Mod Podge, because when you dip this back in to get more Mod Podge for your pen, especially when you're doing the second coat, you are going to be mixing the glitter that you have on your paintbrush inside your Mod Podge, and you don't want to mix them together, or you're gonna have they're all going to be combining, like the 2 glitters will combine. So I always use a second cup of this Mod Podge for the other glitter, so that way it doesn't combine when you're doing the pen. This has been very helpful for me. This is how I do my pens, you guys. Everybody's going to find their most easiest way, but I wanted to show you guys my experience and how I learned how to do them. And I'm still very nervous in doing videos. I'm learning my way, but I'm so excited that you guys asked me, especially that a lot of you guys, my new followers, I appreciate you guys. You guys wanted to learn how to do pens yourself, and this is perfect for me. I've never had the opportunity of showing someone how to do pens.
Mama, today is...
Baby, it's Monday, baby, and I'm doing a video. Can you go back to sleep, baby? It's still early, babe. There's no school today. Can you go back to sleep, baby?
Today's Friday's birthday?
Yes. I'm on a video, baby.
Daddy go to work?
Yes, baby. Daddy had to go to work today.
Because he always goes to work.
So right now I'm doing my first coat. I'm almost finished. Mod Podge does tend to dry fast, so you may want to be very careful when you're putting the Mod Podge and you wait a little long to put in the glitter, because it might have dried and then you might have to like go ahead and do that do the Mod Podge again, which I always do a second coat, so I'm not so worried if it doesn't stay, like if some parts are missing. You just go ahead and you go in with the second coat, and then you go ahead and make sure that you cover every single spot, especially on the top and then on the bottom as well. So I'm gonna hold this in my hand because it's wet and I don't want it to get everywhere. I'll just put it down on my paper. I'm gonna put it down for a moment. I'm gonna be opening my glitter. I'm gonna go ahead and get some space here because I just kind of ran out of space. And then we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what to do next. Okay, so now I am going to be adding the glitter. Let me put you guys on. What I'm gonna be doing. Just make sure that you cover every single spot. But remember, even if you miss a spot, you are going to do a second coat. I always do a second coat. But if you see that you covered every single spot on your pen and you don't think you necessarily need a second coat of Mod Podge, you don't have to do it, because basically you're not covering any spots. It's perfectly fine, the pen. I'm going to show you guys because I'm not going to be doing a second coat on this pen because I actually covered every single spot on it, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Right now I'm still putting the glitter on. I like to make sure I cover every single spot, especially on the top. You see? Look how pretty, you guys. Look. You see how I covered every single spot? Even the top? So I'm not going to be doing a second coat, but if the glitter is a light glitter, you are going to be using like a light pink or a light, any kind of color that you wish. And you may want to do that second coat because sometimes the first time it comes, the glitter is going to be really light, so you want to go ahead and go in with the second coat. I would say wait 30 seconds before you do a second coat. Sorry, 30 minutes before you do a second coat, just so the Mod Podge can dry, and then you can go ahead doing it without it smearing. Sometimes it will smear the first glitter, don't worry, because you're going to add more glitter. And that way that second coat is going to help you add more to it, so that way it's not so light and you have it a little bit darker. Look how perfect it came out, you guys. So now I am not going to be using a second coat of Mod Podge because it came out perfect. See? But not always, because the light color seems to come out too light. You want to do the second coat so you can go ahead and get it a little darker, and then you can go ahead and go from, to the next step. So no more Mod Podge for me. Now I am going to be using this to seal this, but I'm going to let it dry for 30 minutes, you guys, okay? I'm going to let the Mod Podge dry for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in and use this. This is to seal the glitter. This is going to seal the glitter, and it's going to leave it until once, to where it can't. So say when you're doing the epoxy, and say if it was 2 different types of glitter, if you do not use this, when you do your epoxy, you're going to have like the top glitter on the second glitter on the top glitter, and you're just going to be combining. You don't want it to combine because it's not going to come out the way you want. So always use something to seal it. You're going to seal the glitter. I use this one. A lot of other people use Rust-Oleum, like another type of like a spray paint or something like that. But this helps me. It's been helping me ever since I started doing pens, and it is the best thing. You guys are going to find the best thing that fits you guys. But I just wanted to show you guys what I use. Okay, you guys, so here is this. I'm going to be brushing off the excess. I usually would rather go ahead and seal it and then do a first coat of epoxy and then go ahead and brush off the excess with the sanding block. But I'm going to go ahead and do it now. If you seem not to get it all out, don't worry. Once you do the first coat of epoxy, you'll be able to go ahead and I sand it down after, and go ahead and take out any lumps or anything that you feel like, especially like the little excess glitter that you see right here. And that would take it off. That would smooth it to where when you do your second coat, you don't have to worry about all that. And the pen will come out perfect. It did brush off a little bit of the glitter, but it's okay. I'll just go ahead and touch it up with a little bit of Mod Podge. See? Sometimes it will do exactly what it just did right now. It will leave spots on there. If you want to go ahead and retouch it up with the Mod Podge, it's okay. So see? Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Crystalic glue. I'm going to go ahead and get a cup. Let me go ahead and get a cup because I don't have it already, which I should have. Okay, you guys. So I have my little cup with the Crystalic because I'm going to be sealing the glitter. Once I seal the glitter, I am going to wait about an hour or two because it does take time for it to seal the glitter, and you want to have it like sealed before you go ahead and start the next step. Okay. I'm going to show you when I mean that it combines, like when the brush gets into the, even if it's Mod Podge, how the glitter goes into it. And then if you use another brush to another color, it's just going to combine each other. And then it's not going to come out the way you want it, you guys. Go ahead and raise this up there because I don't want the Mod Podge to get on the stick. Sorry, the Crystalic to get on the stick. All right, you guys, so it is completely done, even the top. Now I'm gonna let it dry for about an hour or two, because when you put the Crystalic, it does take time for it to dry, because you are sealing the glitter. So when you do the epoxy, you don't have the glitter all over your hands, if it's not falling anywhere, or even if you had 2 coats, it's not combining. So it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down on my pen turner. Well, half of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down nice and slow. I don't want it to go too down. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how it is once you dry it. Once, say if it was dried, okay? But I'm gonna use another pen because obviously that one's not dried yet. I'm just putting my glitter away. Okay, so this is how it looks after it's dried. I waited 2 hours, but I'm using another pan because that one's still drying. And basically this one is much lighter. As you see, the color is much lighter. It's a pink. And so this is going to be the last thing I do, which is the epoxy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 5 ounces of A, 5 ounces of B, and you can get this off of Amazon, you guys. Then I'm going to mix it up with the stick, which the sticks I also got it from, let me go ahead and show you the stick, 1 second. Okay, so this is the my mixing stick that I got these off of Amazon, and this is what I use to mix these two together. I try not to do it so much, the mixing, because it can get a lot of bubbles and then it's not going to come out the right way. But you don't need much because it's just for a pan. If you were doing a tumbler, you would need way more than just 10 ounces. But I usually do 5 and 5. If you think it's not enough, you can go ahead and do another 5 ounces. But sometimes 5 ounces for me is more than enough. 5 of one, 5 of part A, 5 of part B. You mix it up, and then you go ahead and you apply it to your pan. And then once you're done applying this, I leave it 12 hours. Even, like, say if it's during the morning, I'll leave it for 12 hours. If it's during the night, I'll leave it for 12 hours. And that way it dries. And you don't have to worry about not drying or anything like that. So then it should be perfectly fine after 12 hours. Usually it's done less. It all depends. And then after you're done, the pen will come out looking like this, you guys. I'm going to show you guys another pen. It'll come out looking like this, you guys. You see how smooth this is? You see the shining on it? The shines. That's after this. It's very, very shiny. It's very, very smooth. It's perfectly ready for then to do this part. You have to put this back in it after it dries. Now, if you guys don't know how to do it, which I know a lot of you guys don't, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So, oh, sorry, you guys. So this part is, first, this part goes into this part, okay? So you want, when I put it together, you see? Silver and the black. I put it on the bottom. And you see how it comes out in the end. And then I'm going to put this part in. And there you go. And then I'm going to tighten this up. And then there you go. Voila. And look how it looks. If it was to be already done with the epoxy method. So you don't have to do 2 coats of epoxy, you guys. If you are going to be using chunky glitter, you guys. If you are going to use chunky glitter, I would definitely do 2 coats. The first coat, you're going to do it. And then you're going to sand down all the excess of chunky glitter that didn't come out the first time when you brushed it off. And then that way, when you're doing the second coat, you don't have to worry about having that hard, smooth spots of chunky glitter that's left over, which has worked perfect for me, you guys. Perfect. So basically, this is how I do my pens. It has worked perfectly fine for me. I've been doing them since August. I've actually only been in business since August, which has been amazing. I've learned so much. I'm very, very happy, and I'm so happy to have you guys to support me, and I'm happy that you guys want to do what I do, and I'm happy to do a tutorial for you guys. It is the first time I do a tutorial. I'm not used to doing them, but I'm going to be doing them more often thanks to you guys. But remember, this is the last thing you will be doing, which is, this is like the last thing, like the base or the coating, or how do you want to say, like the sealing, you know, because you're going to seal the glitter with the Crystalic, but you're going to seal the pen to where it's perfectly smooth. It's, the glitter is perfectly, like when you touch it, it comes out like this, smooth. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. I did forget to mention something, you guys. Okay, so remember how I said that if you do the first coat and you have to sand it down, but you don't have to sand down too much, I would go ahead and use alcohol, wipe it down, And then you don't have to do a second epoxy. You don't have to do a second epoxy, a second coat of this, you guys. Only do one. But if you think that it's like you see a lot of like glitter and it's not smooth or anything like that, do the first coat of epoxy, let it dry. I say let it dry. It shouldn't take 12 hours, but I would let it dry for 12 hours. And then I would go ahead and sand it down. Sand it everywhere you have those spots. If it's more than one, just sand it down. Go ahead and use the alcohol to clean it off, and then go ahead and do a second coat of epoxy. If you are going to use chunky glitter, I would recommend doing 2 coats of epoxy, because that's what I use. This is chunky glitter on this pen. I use 2 coats of epoxy because I had to sand down all the excess chunky glitter. If not, you was gonna have like these hard surfaces. All the products that I'm using in the video, you guys can definitely get it at Amazon. Every single item that I've used is on Amazon.